Hello everyone, today I'll be talking about Pegasus spyware, which is making a lot of news recently. First of all, we will understand what is this spyware, how it is used, how it targets a particular smartphone or any computer, and what are the legal provisions that are available to us in terms of surveillance. So, starting with what is this Pegasus spyware? It is developed and licensed by an Israeli company, NSO Group, and it can be used to creep into the smartphones that run on both iOS and Android. That is your smartphones which are normal and your iPhones. So for iPhones, we have iOS operating system and Android operating system is being used in other smartphones. So using this particular spyware that can be run on both iOS and Android operating systems, it can turn them into surveillance devices. So the developers of the Pegasus software, the NOSO group, originally licensed this particular spyware, this particular software to governments for the purpose of tracing terrorist attacks and criminals. So the purpose with which it was made was only to track the terrorists and the criminals. If we talk about the method that is used in this, is that it's just a zero click attack. Okay, so the Pegasus method of attack, it is called as a zero click attack. Why it is called zero click is the reason that no action is required by the user. So your phone which you are using, it doesn't matter that you have clicked some website or something, or you have downloaded something wrong. No, it doesn't require any action by you. It can be done without your action, just by a WhatsApp missed call. This particular software can creep into your mobile phones. Okay, so this Pegasus is a spyware that is used to snoop into handsets, and it has been claimed that WhatsApp missed video call can be used, could give Pegasus a complete access to users' smartphone. It also enables opening up of the handsets and the operator installing the spyware on the device without the owner's knowledge. So owner might not do something, owner has no knowledge about it, and still this particular spyware can enter into your handset. And this resulted in the hacker accessing the user's data. And this particular data can include your passwords, contacts, calendar events, text messages, and even live voice call from messaging apps. So this is how it works. Recently, the Pegasus project report states that over 300 verified Indian mobile telephone numbers, it includes these mobile numbers, includes your numbers of ministers, opposition leaders, journalists, legal community, businessmen, government officials, scientists, human rights activists, and others who were targeted using this spyware that is made by the Israeli firm. Now, if I take the names of the prominent people who have been targeted using this are Rahul Gandhi, the former election commissioner Ashok Lavasa, politics strategist, your Prashant Kishore. So these are such people who have been targeted, and journalists such as Sushant Singh, editor of the Economic and Political Weekly, Pranjoy Guha. So these are the people who have been targeted using this particular spyware. And it can be used, it can come into your handset at a zero click, meaning you are not doing anything, but still you will be affected by this spyware. Now I will be talking about the laws that governs the surveillance system in India. That is the power which the Indian government has to for of surveillance, that Indian government has the power to look into or creep into these gadgets or handsets of other people if they want, or if they think that is it is required for public order, public peace, or for the public good. So if we talk about the IT sector in India, which is growing at a very high rate, but the biggest problem is that there is no specific law governing surveillance in India. Okay, so there is no particular law which states that, okay, government can do surveillance or cannot do, or what are the powers which the government has in respect to this surveillance. So there is right now, there's a need to have specific laws. So in terms of that, how government bodies should work, how a surveillance can be done, about their powers, about the protection of individual privacy. So there is a need that specific law should be made so that we can maintain a balance between the powers, protection of privacy, and the freedom of speech. Because a lot of noise is coming that now there's a threat to freedom of speech, because journalists are being hacked, their phone calls, their handsets, whatever they are saying or whatever they are doing, what information they have, all of this can be hacked, and there is a threat to press. So coming on to the law provisions, Section 69 of the Information Technology Amendment Act 2008 gives the power to government to intercept, monitor, and decrypt any data or information stored on any computer resource. Okay, so this government is given the power that they can intercept, or they can see, they can monitor the any data or information that is stored or provided to us in any computer resources. And the reason why government can do this, what are the basis, what is the basis on which the government can do this, can monitor all this, is the reason of public safety, public order. If public safety or public order is at stake, then the government has the power to monitor that particular computer resource. But who will be authorized to intercept it, to monitor it? Because we know that government is not just one person. Okay, so there needs to be an authority who will be given this particular responsibility to intercept or to monitor what is happening in that particular computer resource. Okay, so this particular authority, or who will be authorized to do that particular act, is unknown. Though we have CERT in, that is Indian Computer Emergency Response Team. Okay, so this has been made by the virtue of Information Technology Act, but it will only come into play when there is an attack on Indian computers or resources. Okay, or when any Indian server has been hacked or crashed by any foreign body. Though these are there, but they will come into play only on certain conditions. So in short, we don't have any particular authority who has this full information, or who is authorized to monitor or to intercept. So this was about Information Technology Act. Other laws which can govern are Indian Telegraph Act 1885 also gives the power to central or the state government to intercept any message if it is against public safety. And since then, as various laws come into force, the government has got the power. So the governmental bodies which are working have got indirect powers from many different rules which are passed by the legislation. But still, there is no such legal framework that has been given to us, by the parliament in relation to surveillance. and authorities who has the power to monitor. So we don't have any proper formal channel. These are the laws which we have derived, okay, from different laws, which we see, okay, fine, through this we can understand that the government has the power to monitor, but there are no specific laws which governs in relation to it. Then there is a recent one, Right to Privacy Bill, which has been presented in the parliament, and an attempt has been made by government to define privacy, or under which circumstances the government has the power to conduct surveillance. Because when we talk about privacy and surveillance, they do not go hand in hand. If you are doing surveillance upon any other person, then you are infringing that person's right to privacy. You are creeping into their personal lives by means of their mobile phones or by means of their computer. So this particular right to privacy bill talks about the circumstances under which the government can conduct surveillance and what are the penalties in case such power is misused or such information obtained has been misused. So under this particular bill, the surveillance can only be granted by permission of Home Secretary, Ministry of Home Affairs and Government of India. So these are the laws which talks about surveillance, which talks about the power that is given to the central government, that using these you can do the surveillance in certain conditions, when there is a threat to public safety or when there is a threat to public order. On October 27, 2009, the central government has also passed the Information Technology Procedure and Safeguard for Intercepting, Monitoring and Decrypting of Information Rules 2009. In these rules, it has been provided that no person shall intercept, monitor, or decrypt any information available on any computer resources except an order from Home Secretary or Joint Secretary, Ministry of Home Affairs has been obtained to do so. So there are laws, there is the power of surveillance which the government enjoys, but still there is no specific law which deals with the power of surveillance. These we are trying to get by means of different laws, by means of provisions that are provided to us through different laws. I hope this video was helpful to you. Now you could understand the legal aspect related to surveillance. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.